In today's episode, we will take you through the processes involved in the purification and refining of oil. It's quite a complex situation that I cannot handle. There is a specialist who will do this when the time comes. But for now, I am Michael Nath, and this is Green 360. Right here he is. That's talking about the plant manager, whom I've already mentioned, the person of Aziz Fabenro. Aziz, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Mike.
Yeah, when we stepped in here, we saw the whole place glittering everywhere, so clean. And then what first attracted my attention were those tanks, shiny tanks here and there. And one keeps wondering, do you clean this per second?
Yeah, sure. We did the cleaning, we maintain the cleaning every second, in as much we notice any dirty in any tanks or one part of our machines, we make the cleaning immediately because we produce oil here, soya oil, you understand? So We have to make all our environment, we have to tidy our environment clean.
To make sure hygiene, high level of hygiene is maintained. That makes a lot of sense. Now, yes, machines are scattered all over the place, but that does not mean that machines operate themselves. So let's talk about the manpower now.
Okay.
What is the strength? How many people do you work with in this factory?
So far, so good. We have about 12 people working with me here. I have 12 staffs working with me,
Doing various jobs?
Different jobs.
All right. By the way, I was going to ask you, what kind of materials do you use?
So far, so good. We have different materials on ground. We have parts, it is sections. On the production side, we have the chemicals. They are part of
materials you use.
The materials we use. We have like the bleaching earth, we have the salts, we have the caustic soda, we have the phosphoric acid, then we have bleaching earth, we have gallium bleaching earth, and then so many others. Then for the packaging side, we have the...
No, I'm not going to let you go too far.
Okay.
Before I forget the very important question I want to ask here.
Okay, sir.
You mentioned bleaching and all that. Is it the same bleaching we use for washing clothes?
No.
What kind of bleaching and what does it? How does it work?
We use the gallium bleaching earth to remove the particles in the oil during the process. Then we use it to make the oil glitters. Look glitters during the production. When we get to that stage, I will explain better.
And what kind of things do you remove from the oil?
The particles, we remove gum. Then particles, while we transfer the crude oil from the tank down here for processing. So some particles might have followed the oil during the pipe section. From the pipe, then we remove all those things. So there's something we call the filter press here. So we remove the filter press as well, remove all the particles before in the production.
Do you sell to wholesalers as well as retailers?
We sell to both.
To both?
Wholesalers and then the retailers. We sell to both.
Before someone gets your product, does the person have to come to this factory, or do you take this the product to wherever the location is?
Actually, the person has to come first, make an inquiry, register with us, then we send the goods to wherever the customers are. That is how we operate. So.
Okay, now for somebody in the market that's talking about the buyer now, the buyer doesn't have what it takes to distinguish or to separate the one you do here, which according to you is highly refined. Purified from the one they sell in the market that could still contain some germs. So is there any way one can identify which is which in order to buy the right one?
Okay. Our bottles, all our bottles are being crest with our name, with the company names, Pali Agro. So this is where we fill the bottles
What is this called?
The machine is called
That's
filling
the turntable?
machine. This is a turntable.
Then this one?
Then the next is the filling machine, where we get our bottles filled with our refined oil. The next machine here is called the capping machine. Capping.
Wow.
Where the filled bottles, while they move down here, this one here places the cover, place the cap on the bottle. Once the bottle gets down here, the bottle, this removes the cap. The cap will be placed on the bottle. Then while this does the final capping.
Wow.
Press it.
Interesting.
Yes, this only places the cap on the bottle, while this cap it. So once after capping, then we check here, the operator in charge, we check here to ensure the machine did the appropriate capping. So these labels place our stickers on the bottles.
So the bottles have to wait
until
all this is done?
Yes, everything is set, is programmed.
So after labeling, it gets here?
It gets here, and this ensures the sticker is well placed and eats it on the...
So it is firmly stuck to the bottle?
To the bottle. As I've said earlier on, that all our things here is unique.
Now, let's talk about a very important aspect of the production that takes place in this factory. And that's talking about the purification process. And there is someone who knows and oversees whatever happens within this very department. She's by name Howard John. Howard John is the quality assurance manager. And I'm glad to have her here. Hello, Hawa. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now tell us everything involved in quality control.
Okay. Quality control, in fact, we call it quality assurance.
Quality assurance?
Yes, because we inspect the product from start to finish. And also, we call it from farm to fork. That is from start to finish. We are involved from the raw materials to when it gets to its final customer, the final consumer. When it gets to the table of the final consumer, that is where our job stops. So in the refining of soya vegetable oil, we are involved from the raw material processing to the final product, which is the finished product. Even when loading, we are still involved to make sure that the product gets to the customer in good and quality conditions. So what we do is basically we check the in-process. As the production people are processing the product, we are checking it, if it meets standards. We actually have an NIS standard that we follow, which we must follow, which we must adhere to. And we make sure that the parameters meet those NIS standards. During the production process, there is something called the triglycerides, which are the FFAs in the oil, which must be removed to a BRS minimum. There is a standard for it. And during the process, we make sure that we analyze, we test the product, that these triglycerides, which is the FFAs, meet standard. They are reduced to the minimum standard, which is the requirement for vegetable oil. And if it does not meet, well, we meet the production people, they just have to go back to the drawing board to make sure that the standards and specifications are met.